into the line of the chest, front to back. Okay, so good morning, good morning. Grab your balls. We're gonna do, grab your balls, please, and a strap. So I've got my double set. You just need a set toted, whether they're the original size or the plus size is good. Plus will be a little firmer. And we're gonna use the wall. I hope I'm not messing y'all up. You were game for using the wall with me in the past. So I'm hoping you're game for me using the wall today too. So if you need to adjust a little bit of where your camera is or walk someplace, we're gonna be kind of living near this guy for a little bit. I actually have a corner happening, which is even a little more conducive if you'd like to, but you'll be fine if it's simply the wall as well. A block can always help to find a little extra space, okay? So anything that we do on the wall, you can always do reclined and make the floor your wall, okay? So if this doesn't work out for you in some semblance, you can do all of this reclined, all right? I've been living a lot in my own practice with rolling with the lower back and the legs, which feels amazing. And then yesterday I went to upper body on the wall and I went holy Toledo. So that's what we're doing today. All right, go ahead and set everything down for just a moment. As we start, we're gonna start with just a movement, just kind of sussing out how those shoulders feel, how the arms feel. So stand in a way that makes you feel stable. I'm a little wider than my hips, but not like a squat. And just kind of wiggle out the arms, wiggle out the arms, wiggle out the hands, right? And shake them out. And then just begin to swing them a little forward and back, a little just movement, and cross them, swinging them forward and swinging them back and cross them. And I'm not trying to do anything much other than let my arms kind of flop around, okay? And then on your next breath in, we're gonna go ahead and take the arms up and overhead. And then exhale, take them down. All right, bring them forward, inhale forward, and then bring them down. Again, bring them side, up, and then exhale, bring them down. Bring them forward, and then bring them down. Nice, bring them up. Interlace the hands, turn the palms tall, squeeze the elbows towards each other, and then just stretch. Side bend, left, inhale up, side bend, right, inhale up, nice. And then come around, give yourself a hug. Right elbow under left on this, and you can just hug it out, or if you want to go for the double cross, right, I can come to the double cross, or I can just hug it out. All right. I'm just kind of thinking about drawing some space coming towards the shoulder blades. And then take the hands behind you and explore the opening of the chest. So maybe the hands just like to reach back. Maybe this is a nice time to find your strap, or perhaps you're comfortable interlacing. Whatever you choose, let the arms go straight. So let that closeness be determined by how straight the arms are good with getting. And as you open up the front of the chest, try to soften the ribs in the front. The hands begin to draw more towards the ground than lifted here. And then release and shake it out. Okay. Take your strap for me, please. We're gonna go a little around the world, one more, and then we're gonna get to rolling through the tissues, okay? So got my strap again. Create plenty of space. This is not a test where you get bonus points for a shorter strap, right? So make sure that there's plenty of movement space as you take the arms overhead, up, right? Maybe I need to slide it out, and then exhale behind, right? Inhale over the top, exhale in the front. Again, inhale up, just trying to keep a little bit of tension in, not too much. Exhale around. Okay, around the world, right arm down, left arm goes over, and around through the front. Up. And if you've got a bunch of kind of crunchy chunkiness in there, consider taking the strap wider, like longer, more space, and just having a little bit of tension on the reach. Okay, let's go the other way. So reaching up as you come around, reaching up as you come around. Okay. 3 more. Maybe the eyes are closed. Last one here. Up. And then around to the front. Awesome. And then release them down. Shake it out. Okay. All right. So we're coming to, we're going to start with a release actually for the top. And so this is where the corner will come in pretty handy. A doorway works fantastic. We're going to get in just into a little bit of the upper traps, and then we're going to try to trace that down towards the collarbone. So the corner or a door jamb works really great, as I said. You can also do this on your own kind of self-massage area, meaning I'm just going to stand and not use another prop. This one would be tricky to do reclined, so it would just be either seated using your hands. So if I was going to do it that way, whether I'm seated or standing, I'm going to place the ball right up into that tight, large group of muscles, and I'm just going to be in kind of rock it into space. And I'm just giving this little kind of circular motion in both directions. Okay, and then we're going to play with a little bit on the back side, a little bit on the front side, coming around, and then beginning to trace, right? The collarbone that comes out, you can follow that bone all the way through to towards the shoulder and the arm. So you're just going to trace around the top and then coming around the bottom. Okay, so that's where we're going to go. As I use this is going to be my force, so I can decide how much pressure I'm happy to put in there. I'm going to set it right into that same spot muscle group, right? You can get low or stay a little higher, what makes sense for you. You want to do 1 foot, I kind of like 1 foot forward. Oh, here I am hanging out, literally trying to let that left arm, so it's in the left side, left arm drop just long and easy. And sustained compression's pretty nice on this one, I think, or you can do some rocking, right? Again, I can adjust that with my other hand, all I need. Rocking in. Love to add a little neck turn, looking over towards the right. And maybe if you've got the space, you can look back towards the wall on the left, noticing how that kind of frees the tissues. Rock in when it gets to be too much, trying to find now a little more on the back side of that muscle group. Going for 90 seconds, kind of in each of these spots. Feeling that left arm consistently get a little longer, which is so nice. And then you're going to come up and you're going to begin to come to the kind of across, right? Coming back, trying to trace some of that collarbone. And then for me, I always get more sensation. This is just totally up to you. Obviously, let it rest where it rests, but definitely at least try and check out the lower portion of the collarbone, right? Sitting right below into that little space. So these pec muscles, okay? So we're gonna get into that spot too, and give some nice compression there. For me, that triggers right down. I can feel it coming down and beginning to radiate towards my tricep. I don't know what you will get out of it, but we're coming into that pec, okay? Again, don't like the wall or too intense. I'm using my hand to do it. And then you can always begin to add that pin and stretch motion, right? So if I've got it here, I can do the twisting, pin, stretch, and then movement, right? Pin, stretch, movement. Another 30 seconds or so here. All right, again, whether that's your sustained, your pin stretch, movement add. And then as you begin to come back up, we're going to now shift a little lower towards into more of the pec major. So we were up here, kind of the pec minor, tiny, and then we're going to go a little bit longer here. And if you're not sure where these muscles are that you're targeting, just take that left hand, right hand's here, get ready to palpate and feel, and just push into the wall, right? You can push into the wall and you should feel some action happening, okay? That's where you are. You can rock it. I like to do little small movements here, too intense. I'm gonna give myself some more space. If you find yourself too close to the wall, right, we can always block that up, block then ball. Provides a little more clearance should you need. And I'm watching my little stopwatch down here on the floor. So we've got another 35 seconds in this muscle group. How's the breath doing? Right. Maybe exploring, going a little widening out. I like to move actually more towards into the center of the chest. That always kind of surprises me there. And we're just going to treat this whole left side, and then we're going to come and treat the whole right side. Okay, so the next spot that we're heading on the left is we're going to go deltoid cuff. Okay, and then deltoid cuff is going to lead us down into bicep, tricep, and where they kind of connect there. Okay, so I've got my deltoid cuff, and I'm going to rock it front to back. I don't think this is new for anyone on here. I don't think this is new. So going a little quicker. I've got my left side, so my left foot is forward. I've got a little bit of a stagger, and just twisting, rocking. Again, if you want to hang out and just do some smaller circles into the medial, the out, the front, or the back, you can do any of that. But I'm doing a collective 90 seconds of the 3 deltoid of the whole group. Okay, so if there's some place you really want to get to in there, get to there. And then finding those nuggets, maybe that's where you hang. And I like to try to track it down the line, right? So down the arm through the fingers, and then I like to track it back up through the top, up through where the upper trap that we work into the neck. So not only, you know, always when you're coming into those places where you're looking to kind of release some of that trigger point pressure, instead of just trigger point, think of that radiating and easing out through the system, kind of declogging that congestion. Okay, and then we're gonna begin to take it lower now. We're going lower. So mid-arm, all right, these bicep muscles wrapping around to the tricep. And this is where it always kind of gets interesting too. These are those unexpected, right? You can probably find some, I definitely get some nice little bonus points at the base insertion portion of the muscle where the triceps wrapping around. Both biceps and triceps really appreciate a twisting action, okay, of a stretch. So instead of necessarily just going up and down, think about kind of some diagonal lines, some lateral lines, whether you get that with movement of rotation of the arm and a pin and stretch, or you get it with pinning and rotating the body, okay? But instead of just an up and down swipe, think about kind of getting some interesting sort of direction in there. So nice long rolls through the shoulder, like that arm bone circling, kind of get into that space too. You're turning towards it, coming away from it, swiping through. Anything surprising for you in this spot? Maybe. And if I want to get more the top portion of the bicep, then you can turn. This is where also that corner or that door jam can be helpful for you. Or I'm self-massaging, or I've got it on my own. Right? It's appreciated any way you want to do that. Okay. Last 10 seconds. Make sure you're swiping through those that back gate. And we'll just take a moment. Okay. Set your ball down. And just tune in, right and left. Breathe it in. How does it feel? Maybe checking out the hands, straightening out the fingers, dropping them at the hips. That's always my favorite thing, to do a little visual. Yeah, it's always a little different, right? And just check it in. Awesome. Hopefully, as you explore that left side, maybe it'll help with a little more direction for the right side. And I'm going to go ahead and switch the balls. Okay, and then I'm going to start in the same direction just so I can take advantage of how this works. Okay, so I'm going to show from this angle, but for me to get it, I need to turn now this way. So door jam, super easy. Just go from the left to the right. But if you're dealing with the corner of a wall, you're going to have to shift that around. Okay, so I'm going to start. We started up high, right? We started up in this, sitting right in that deep drop. So you're going to need to come into it. Again, I need to shift because my head doesn't like that. So I'm either going to sit onto it, or I'm going to show you my backside. So instead of showing you my backside, I'm going to do a little manual on this side. And maybe you followed it up. If you can get a portion that feels nice to have that compression of sitting on it, then you can work to turn the head. Slow turns, see how that frees. We investigated coming a little bit over towards the front side, towards the top of the collarbone above it, and we also investigated coming a little bit down onto the back side, tracing that muscle, that bony landmark across the back and the muscle group down the back. Okay, if you want to go ahead and go for the pin and stretch there, that's usually pretty nice. Pin it, move it to stretch it deeper. Start to get kind of chunky in there for sure. Coming up through. We get some of these tissues too when we do the bridge with the two balls sitting right under there. That's a nice way to balance out and get both at the same time. But if you're taking advantage and you found a wall place to go, it's pretty nice too, because I don't think you can get that neck lengthening and extension when you're in that bridge, right? We're not turning our head around. We don't have all that freedom to move. We're really just drawing into that isolation of the traps more, where when you're working with that wall, it's pretty easy to shift it into some new spots, front and back, and then get that greater extension coming up through the scalenes and the sides of the neck. Check it out, last 10 seconds in this area. And then the next spot we're hanging is coming into the pec minor, working closer towards the armpit. So we're gonna just drop in below the collarbone and we're gonna work into that lovely space again. Maybe it's the twisting, it's the reaching. And forgive me, I just realized I don't think I mentioned anything. Melissa's all good, not to worry. She's visiting family. She's with family. She's good. So she may be back next week. She may be back another week after. So in case I apologize, I didn't mention anybody to worry. She's all well and good. Okay. Last 15 seconds, and then you're going to begin to shift more into the major. So you're going to begin to cross over, coming more towards the center, right line. Above, soft tissue, into the muscle group here. It's where it starts surprisingly tight. You can stay up higher if you want, resting right underneath the collarbone and tracing, or you can begin to work down a little bit more into more of the depth of the muscle tissue. This is that living here, doing here, being here. It's also where fear tends to live, right? We're scared, worried, closed in. Or bringing some life to the tissue, increasing circulation, blood flow rushing through the area. And you get some slide and glide so the tissues can move more freely with one another. All right, are you guys ready to come to the cuff? Okay, let's begin to work our way now down the arm. So deltoid cuff here, rolling across. Right, my right side is here, so my right foot is forward. Begin to swipe it. Probably hitting some of those external rotators in the back right there. I don't know if any of you took Kaylee's class yesterday morning. When I think about it, it was Thursday morning. She had you guys on the block getting those external rotators in the back. That was looking pretty yummy / intense. But maybe some new tricks, new value add for how to use those blocks to help get into some of these spaces as well. I'll still go for my balls any day. All right. And there's any kind of chugging that you want to get in that back end, the front end, any of those small circles, right? Or you just like that compression to lean into it. Got 30 seconds or so here left in this space. How's your breath? If you listen quiet enough, your body, you might just hear it going, thank you. Okay, you ready to begin to work your way lower down the arm now? We're going to be swiping now in through the tricep on the back, the bicep in the front, all that little connection in between. Again, get kind of interested in kind of outlining that muscle and then transferring through and working some kind of diagonal lines. The up and down might work. As you go down, right, we already kind of work to get into the traps and the scaling. So as you come back up, maybe get really long in that side of the neck, right? And really just work this line all the way from the hand up through, lengthening the ear. Right, or again, maybe sustained compression is more your game. Those triceps on the back side, right? All those chaturangas that hug in, that reach back, right? In my flow classes, Raga Flow especially, we were doing a ton of binding. So I thought this would be a nice complement for all of that work that's been happening. This is the other thing that always amazes me with this work. It's easy to get lost, I think, right? So I came in kind of excited today, right? Sun is shining. Looks like it's going to be a beautiful day. I had a great night's sleep. That was lovely. I was excited to get to this work today, super excited. And we've done really a little bit of trap and upper arm, and we're 20 minutes in, 21 minutes in. And our intro was no more than 5. So we've been rolling for a good 15 minutes already. Time flies when you're having fun. And that doesn't mean if you don't have 20 minutes, you shouldn't hang out and roll. If you've got 5 minutes, if you have 3 minutes, treat yourself when you can. And as I tend to do, I give this little 30-second mark. We've got the last 30 seconds working here. We did about 2 minutes or so on this kind of more longer grouping. But even 2 minutes, right? You could double this out, be here 5. All right. You ready? Take it off. And then let's stand again. Let's check out. Let's do a little recheck. Recheck, comparison, integration. Just first, here we are, checking without movement, simply sensation. And then roll the shoulders down, reach through the fingers, turn the palms away from you and broaden the collarbones. Inhale, reach the arms wide up. Exhale, float them down. Reach them forward and up. Exhale, float them down. Now let them swing at your sides. A little hip movement in here. Arms are swinging nice and long. I'm just whacking myself in the front and the back. Not trying to, just getting this rotation. The hips really providing the effort. Not really trying to turn the head, not overemphasizing the arms doing the movement against the hips doing the movement, swinging them out. And then gently begin to slow yourself down here. Inhale, arms up. Bring the feet closer together, interlace the fingers and turn the palms tall. Stretch through the arms, take a nice breath in, side bend left. Inhale, come on up. Side bend right. Inhale, come on up. Exhale, bring the elbows together. Right. Inhale up, Pranayama back, up and over. Exhale, circling around. Right. Try to keep those ribs soften in. Inhale, up and over. Exhale, soften around. One more. Inhale, up and over. Exhale, soften around. Shake them out. Loosen out. Grab your strap. Once again, we go around the world. Okay. Appropriate distance. Again, don't lock it too much, right? Maybe one, but you can always slide out of that. Take it overhead first, and we're going to get just like a little bit of a reach and a pull, and we're going to start to see what is about our max, right? But don't go back. Don't go over on the max. Just the reach and the pull kind of the max. Separate the shoulder blades from one another and softly pull the front ribs in. And then let the hand slide a little bigger and take it behind you. Inhale up, exhale to the front. Inhale up, exhale behind you. Inhale up, exhale over. All right, around the world 3 times. Going right, over the top. How does it feel? How does it sound? Mine's quieter, I'll say. Definitely can feel more glide. Love that. And going the other way. 3. Coming around. All right, take your time. 2. Coming around, take your time. Last one. Coming around, take your time. Set it down. Take the arms up. Exhaling, hands to heart. Close the eyes. And let's take a moment here to plant the seed of intent for the day that lies ahead. What is one thing that you would like to accomplish today that is either just for you, your well-being, your inward self, or for someone else in service? And that's not a work thing. That's not a chore thing. It's Friday, and in the weekend, with gratitude and joy, visualize how you will do something to care for you, something to care for someone near. For me, work through those arms, work through those shoulders. I've got this beautiful man child at home, ready to graduate from school tomorrow. So I plan on giving that stubborn 18-year-old young man a big old bear hug. Enjoy the day ahead. Take care of those around you. Be well. Namaste.